Daily Graphic starts this morning and says nation descends on Captain Mahama's killers. Court remands 7, 4 others arrested in 2 towns and DCE suspended. And also on the Daily Graphic, fresh charges leveled against JB's killers. And you can find that this story also here. Soldiers condemn attacks on them in line of duty. And VIP opens the construction bank. The finder, latest on Captain Maxwell Adam Mahama's gruesome murder, 5 more killers nabbed. 1 prime suspect found dead. All suspect to be paraded. Police press conference today. Also on the finder, 468,053 candidates set on Monday as BEC begins. And President suspends the intra-DC over provocative comment. Daily Statesman, no breach of laws in $2.25 billion bond issuance. Finance Minister responds to frivolous Shraj petition, frivolous in quote there. The Ghanaian Times says deal with Mahama killers. President tells police suspends DCE over unsavory comments. The president's picture, photograph, is on the front page. And then 7, remanded over Captain Mahama's death. The Daily Guide says soldier lynching, 13 arrested, 7 caged. Nana fires DCE, tension at Burma camp. And also here, VIP launches construction bank. Daily Heritage, tragedy, boy 19 kills classmate with drawing board and runs away. Chief Justice fights illegal lotto operators with 11 caught for prosecution. The Independent says, don't politicize murder of Captain Mahama. That's the former President Mahama talking there. And the BNFT says, governments count on new bank to bridge housing deficit as construction bank starts operations. Those are some of the newspapers this morning. My guest to do the talking to my extreme left is Deputy Communications Director of the NDC, Fred Agbenyo. Fred, good morning.
Good morning, Bright.
Hope your Friday is good.
Well, this is good. We thank God.
Thanks so much for joining us. And then to my immediate left is the Ashanti Regional Secretary of the NPP, Mr. Sampai. Good morning, too.
Good morning, Bright.
And I hope you're great.
By His grace.
Thanks so much for joining us. Let's start this morning.
But there was not got any appointment. I am worried for him.
Are you his PR?
I am worried.
You're worried for him?
Yes. He's worked so hard.
I've not expressed my...
The president is not looking his direction. I'm surprised. His colleagues are now at the club.
Okay, all
71.
Okay. All right. Fred, okay. Fred, you continue your advocacy. Maybe the president will hear.
Yes, the president might look in his direction.
Right. Okay. So let's start this morning. Not very good news. It's been bad all week about the lynching of the army captain. The latest is that we're told that 4 more persons have been arrested. The court yesterday remanded 7 of the accused in custody, and we're told also that the district chief executive has been suspended. Now, Mr. Pine, let's start from here. First of all, let's look at the suspension of the district chief executive. There were calls for it. Some said that we should hold on and give him time because he's new in office and might not have been briefed appropriately, perhaps resulting in those unfortunate comments, resulting in his suspension. Now, the president has issued that, has announced that he be suspended. Some have even gone ahead to say that, why suspend him and just get him out of office? Where do you stand in all this?
Bright, thank you very much. And a good morning to our viewers. And our gratitude to our viewers who have been praying for us. That's they've been so magnanimous, and that we have today living. My condolences and sympathies very heartfelt to the families of the late captain, the wife, the children, the military, Ghana as a whole. It's so sad, especially the kids. They don't understand the situation now, but when they start growing, when they get to primary school and they start asking about where he studied, he's traveled so long, that is when it's going to dawn on them that they lost somebody great. Lynching, all these wahala have been with us over the years. And I believe yesterday I was having some conversation with a lady, a young lady, and she said, yes, a lot of people have suffered that fate before, but she believes that the good Lord above is using this to tell the world, to tell Ghana the danger in that, and that all of us are at risk. Because, right, if I stray into maybe Choco where they don't know me and they take me for an unwanted entity, I may suffer the same fate. So it's something that we all need to discuss. So the family, my condolences, my sympathies greatly to them. The DC, when the matter broke, and I heard him speak on one radio, and I was kind of taken aback. At least get an insight into the matter. You see, some people will want to react to things, especially when it comes from the media, without recourse to any knowledge of what has actually happened. If you are a DISEC boss, you should know much about it. When he was pushed to answer questions, he told me he's not even read the report. So if you've not read reports and all that, why make such comments? At least you should have referred to taking a record to your superiors, because the regional minister is there, the deputy is there, and even they could have contacted the BNI boss in your district, the police commanders and all that, for a briefing before. We usually don't have to rely solely on information that will come from the public, right, because at times it could be skewed. For example, I just don't want to stray into that, but if it's a fact that people are not happy that we're stopping Galamsey, and therefore they see the action of some people as being inimical to their trade, they will come and feed you with information that will be will stray you off. So why would you rely on such info and do that? The president, as a listening president, has done the right thing by making him step aside until the investigations are over, and that, well, a further decision could be taken, right, depending on what comes out of the investigation, whether he'll be fired completely or he will be asked to come back. But as to those who are also advocating that, oh, we should have given him some time, he's new on the job. It doesn't matter being new on the job. It's a kind of testing your ability to function well, to perform well. Because when you went for the interviews, when you were grilled by the committees, you showed some traits that you could do the work. And that when you are there, definitely you need to understand the situations. But people are also talking now, we need to take them through orientation and all that. Yes, we're going to have those orientations for them and the rest. But as a DC chief executive, as an executive, chief executive of any entity, the moment you sit on the job, there are certain things, especially your communication and taking brisk decisions, quick actions, is something that should be at the fingertips. But I believe, yes, the president has shown respect to the family, to the views of the Ghanaians who were not happy with the comments of the DCE. That's a lot of people, and therefore...
I'm not happy about the DCE.
Yes, about the comments, because it was inappropriate. At that moment, the timing was wrong. The timing was wrong. I wouldn't go to that tangent by... I would have even told them I wasn't going to comment on it until I heard from my superiors, because as a DC chief executive, you are under somebody else. And
right. So the present decision, step aside, let's look into it. Others are saying that, look, the man is just about 3-4 weeks in office. He might have said those things, but because he was so properly built, we should have given him some time to settle down. Where do you stand here?
Well, Brian, thank you very much, and let me add my voice and extend my condolences to the bereaved family, the wife and children, the father and the mother, and then the Ghanaian society. I don't think that day was one of those black days and bad days in our society, where you wake up and citizens of our country will murder a military man the way they did. Something nobody expected to happen around this time, but unfortunately it did happen. This should be a wake-up call to all of us. I am extremely worried about current developments in our country. It's as if the citizenry no longer fear the power of the state. It's as if the state doesn't exist any longer. We are taking the law into our own hands with impunity. We are bold enough to attack the court. We are bold enough to attack the police. We attack the national security. We are attacking the military. It's a dangerous pace that we are setting for ourselves. And so we need to quickly look at it and find a solution. As for the DCE, I think the least said about him, the better. Now, when you are a leader and an issue come up, it doesn't necessarily mean that you should run out there in the parliament and start speaking. It is not for nothing that for every institution you have PROs and spokesperson and stuff like that. When you are not well briefed, deploy a PRO to go and speak. Let a PRO make a mistake. By which time you have got enough brief, then you can come and do the damage control and do the correction. But where you, the leader of the district, an issue like this has happened, that's taken the whole national dimension, everybody discussing it, then you take a stand. You create an impression as though you love your people than the dead. You could make statements like, oh, it is not because one person is dead, we should be treating the people of the community. And some of the comments like, what is happening here? This gentleman, didn't he go through any form of orientation? Do you have to go about it this way? Why don't you just keep quiet? You have a regional minister who I must commend that has acted very well. I heard him on a radio station, the way he went about the whole issue. So some maturity in his approach. And I expected that this would have done the same. Unfortunately, he decided to play to the gallery. There are things we all hear behind the scenes, of course. You can't discuss all on radio and on television, but that is why I'm struggling really to believe that the military man was taken for an armed robber. I sincerely want to believe that these people know the man. They know he's a military man. Maybe it's activities that they're not comfortable with. And it was a premeditated action. Let us do something to put fear, even the military, who are gagging us and preventing us from doing our Galamsey activity. That was what it was. That's what I believe it to be. Because if they suspected the man just to be an armed robber, and what they took him through, a subsequent comment from the DC, I even heard the former DC who left office a few months ago. He came on and said, he's surprised about what this colleague is saying. Because he knew that these soldiers have always been there since last year. They've been coming to the community, they all know them. And so they are not strangers to the community. And so for his colleague to be saying that he's saying, more so, there are two twin, your community is located virtually on a border of one region and that. So these particular guys are assigned to Western region. You are in the Central region. So if an issue come up and you're not too sure of the facts, you can even call your colleague on the other side. Do you know about the presence of these soldiers in our area? You didn't do any of those things. You jump on radio, you are running everybody down, you think that one person's death doesn't mean anything, the military doesn't have any right to move to your community. I think that so far, let me also add my voice in congratulating the military. They've conducted themselves very well. Because majority of people will talk to them quietly. What they would have wished for is that we allow the military to move in there for 3 days to also go and show them where power lies. But so far, I think that they've conducted themselves very well. They've acted very professionally. I don't know if that is a wish of several Ghanaians. People think that so much indiscipline is creeping into our society. And so some level of force must be added. I don't know if you also share a similar view, but it is what it is. I want to commend them. We want to see how we get to the bottom of this particular issue. It is good that the President has asked the DCE to step aside. I would have wished that they fired him outright. Not
instead of suspension.
Yeah, instead of suspension. They should have fired him. Maybe he's not prepared for the position they are entrusting under his care, and so they quickly fire him and get somebody else to take up that particular position and work. He has done well, but Mr. President, we are expecting more from you. You are the President of the Republic of Ghana, and I'm sure we'll come to that aspect of this whole discussion where the politicization and non-politicization.
Right.
We have an executive presidency. Everything else lies with him. He received all the security briefing in the country. He has the power to take the actions to nail this in the bud. And so if it goes wrong, we can't point to any other person but the president. And if I do that, it doesn't mean I'm politicizing it. I'm not sure anybody living in this country today is happy with the things that are going around us. It's becoming one too many. This Galamsey fight, we've all been fighting it all these years. Nana Addo came into office and the minister, they took it a notch higher. They got the media to rally around. Everybody, the civil society, the clergy, everybody is talking about it. Then you have a few miscreants out there. They picked their phone, they did recording. And one of the recordings I saw, they were virtually threatening the president, threatening the entire government. And I thought that the BNI, the National Security have moved in, invite that gentleman, punish him to serve as a deterrent. We all kept quiet. We saw them in some cases even demonstrating, threatening the administration. Election time is coming, they are not going to vote for them. We can't build our society like that. Every society where the citizens no longer fear the power of the state, that society is likely to crumble. And so we must let people know that yes, we have our liberty, we have our freedom, we can do whatever we want to do. But we have a state which power supersedes every other power. And we need to demonstrate that the one who can demonstrate that is the president. He can call his IGP to order, he can call his national security minister to order, he can call the security apparatus and listen, this thing cannot continue in our country. But as if we sit back, we allow people to take the law into their own hands. And I am sad, those of us in politics, we are becoming victims because of multi-party democracy and elections. And so decisive action that we can take that will help the future of this country, as if we are scared to take them. I don't want to attract the wrath of the people so that they'll vote against me in the next elections. So even though what they are doing is wrong, everybody can say it's wrong, you see us playing around it. This is what has gotten us to.
All right. Okay. A quick one. The president is on top of this matter, especially because he commented on it, asked the security agencies to dig deep to the roots of this matter, and that the perpetrators, when they are found guilty, should be dealt with according to the laws of the land. So it's not a matter that he is not on top of these issues. Then, if you read today's Daily Guide, for instance, there's another young man who's been lynched in Kumasi over a mobile phone theft. So this has been a matter with us all this while. But when Fred was talking about this Galamsey, looking at it, that we should make it a national agenda and all that. But until recently, if you remember, people were parading some tapes on radio talking about what the president said when he was campaigning, twisting the facts to suit their agenda. You see, you have the same people, the same politicians wanting to make it a political tool, playing to the gallery, getting to the emotions of those who are involved in this galamsey to get it and return back to sit and talk about it as if somebody is not doing his work well. It's a matter for all of us. Some of us who have been to those places, some of us who are to sustainable development. If you go to such places and you see the destruction and the damage and all that to the environment, you be appalled. You wouldn't even, you even go suggest that even large-scale mining should be should cease in the country because the way they are destroying these environments. But that's not the content of what we wanted to discuss today, so I'll put it somewhere. But the matter is that the national security, the president, everybody is on top of this matter. And I also would think, I said it yesterday somewhere, that yes, the national NCC should be resource enough. You see, some of these things that we do, from the fact that we have not been educated well. Yes, the fact that as a citizen, you can affect the citizen's arrest. But when you arrest the person, you have no right to
exact punishment.
Exact punishment, yes, exactly. You take him to the appropriate authorities to be dealt with. Emotions that we put into matters. I mean, there are a lot of instances that people are wrongly accused of being this or that and been lynched or been maimed to some extent. Okay, so why wouldn't you make it a part of it, of our program? Educating the civilian population. We have a lot of CSO, civil society organizations, who are taking grants and support from international bodies with the sake of going to those areas to educate people on safety matters. They should also take it upon themselves. And if we have concerted effort in making sure that, we keep on hammering to the fact that, when you suspect somebody in this manner, you don't go that time. Then also the security agents, especially the police, the image is at stake. People, I was watching your screens, and when you interviewed some street people, they were all looking at it that, yes, they don't have confidence in the police system. If you take people there, they let them off the hook. So people
want to go to the level of subjecting suspects to beatings and to lynching and all that. So that image should also be eroded. Let them see that, yes, whatever that comes to them is treated in a fair manner, in a manner that will be appropriate and considered favorable to the people of Ghana. And that, I believe, Bright, if we go on this tangent, some sanity.
We'll be able to stop this mob injustice as it's called.
And don't let us create the impression I started some 2 weeks ago.
Right.
It's been with us several years.
Several years. Now, so,
Bright, I don't know if I can also
I want us to stray into the issue of not politicizing the murder of Captain Mahama. And so, the politician, why would, is this a national issue, or we can say that it is the government of the day that is unable to stop lawlessness, and that is why perhaps the politicians also capitalize on it to make political gains?
You see, when I hear some of these statements, sometimes I get...
Which statement is that?
Statement like we are politicizing an issue like this, I get a bit confused. I get confused to the extent that the country is governed by politicians. Ghanaians entrusted their mandate in the hands of a certain group of people to govern them. Ghanaians know that we cannot protect ourselves. If you go to sleep, we don't know what happened in the night. And that is why we have created state institutions, the police, the BNI, the national security, and what have you, to give us some protection. Now, we have created these institutions, and we have put some persons in charge of the institutions. They take our taxes to give us the protection. If the protection we are seeking for is not coming, is it not appropriate for us to only ask the institutions and the persons responsible to do their work well?
We can be asking questions.
Can't we ask questions? That's right. So if by asking questions, somebody stated that to mean that you are doing partisan politics. Sometimes spoke a while ago about how the president is showing commitment. If you go out there and talk to Ghanaians, I don't think that Ghanaians see that way. Not too long ago, a video came again on the social media about a woman. I don't know what the crime was in Kumasi.
Right.
I don't know if you saw that video. The woman was beaten, stripped naked. People were throwing all manner of things. It was so nasty. When I saw the video without the sound, my first impression was that this thing cannot happen in Ghana. Until I opened the volume and I heard tree at the background. Later, I was told it didn't happen in Kumasi. As we speak today, not even one person has been arrested. A video came around not too long ago after they took office. This is somewhere in January or February. Police Nakam Bruce, who was molested at the Plaster House by some of these invisible forces and what have you. The only thing I heard was that the persons who rather brought those who are in charge of the CCTV camera, I heard one of the gentlemen over there was fired for leaking the tape into the public domain.
You didn't hear the police said you're investigating the matter?
Where has he gone to?
Well, we're told the police is investigating.
The only thing I've heard is that Nakam Bruce has written to the CID to tell them to discontinue with the investigation. Is it about him or is it about the country? Is it about him, Nakam Bruce, or is it about Ghana? And our security and the fact that people must respect state institutions. Why should a citizen, a private citizen, be able to chase a policeman driving a police vehicle, pull him out of the vehicle, right at the seat of the president?
What is your point?
The point I'm making is that when even the National Security Coordinator was beaten in Ashanti region, a day after, the president went to Mensah. He stood at Mensah and told the whole of this country, he's going to make sure we get to the bottom of that issue. Few weeks after, they went back to court and said they didn't have any evidence to prosecute even the persons who went to the court to set the other colleagues free. And so if you follow all these things, and nothing concrete is being done, the persons are left off the hook. And the president come back
by
and tell
the
us,
law.
Say again.
They are let off the hook by the law.
You want to call
not
that
the
the law?
president.
That
Well, there's no
there's
evidence.
video of us
There's
saw.
no evidence.
We all saw persons who entered the court and then destabilized activities in the court and got able to run away, and they come and tell there's no evidence. Which evidence do you want? Who should provide the evidence? Is it me? Is it my duty to provide the evidence?
Well, you're a citizen, so
You understand? And so, yes, Mr. President can talk. He can give all the assurances. We want to see concrete action. We want to see concrete action. And so if we issue a statement and then we stated or we cited all these examples, then Mr. President, these things cannot just go like that. Do something about it. Get your people to do something about it. How will you describe that as being partisan or taking advantage? Who is happy with the situation? A young military captain with a young family who is happy about it. What will I gain by doing partisan politics with it?
Maybe score political points.
You understand? So, score what political points? From somebody's death?
Let the people know that the government isn't working hard at maintaining security.
It is not us who is making the people to know. You and I know that the security of our country today is not the best of security we can have. He was just telling us that just yesterday, over a mobile phone, they killed somebody in Kumasi. I agree that these things have been happening all these years. So should we continue?
Let me put that question to Mr. Sampai. The president is talking. Even in today's, I think, Daily Graphic, the vice president says we'll punish the perpetrator. The president is committed. But the minorities seem to suggest that the talk is too much. They want to see action. And they've mentioned several instances of a breaches of the law that no action seemed to have been taken.
You see, right, that's one big hypocrisy and dishonesty on the part of the NDC. And that made me comment that statement from Mr. Sedun Kete was one big, irresponsible, useless statement to be put out there in the wake of all these matters. Now, Fred wants to tell us that he's not doing politics. All the points that he's enumerating is pointing to the fact that the president is a failure. If you start or go on that tangent, you are then telling me that, yes, you want to attack a political entity, build yours and make it look at us.
But that stops with the president.
Of course,
yeah,
of course. But there are people who are also responsible for that.
But if they don't do it, we blame the president.
But give me time, I'm coming there. You see, some of these instances, before the election, you know Kukuomi in the Brong-Ahafo region, a mob of the then regional minister, Eric Opoku's boys, stormed the police station, assaulted, and you took your cameras there.
Yes.
We had a president then. Yeah. We had a president.
Isn't that why we voted him and brought him in?
No,
that's right.
No, that is why Fred Agbonyo and Sedun Kete and the NDC shouldn't go on this tangent.
Why?
They shouldn't. They shouldn't pretend to be more Catholic than the Pope.
I see.
But you see, in all these, their actions, when they cite examples of the Delta Force issue, right, the guys who they are saying went to the court to free some people. Was that the fact? They were taken to court. It's the law which says that they do not have enough evidence.
By your own government.
It doesn't matter. The Attorney General is not my government. It is for the state.
Right.
Okay? So when they're prosecuting, they don't look at MPP, NDC, CPP or whatever. They look at the individual and the crimes that they've committed. Now the Attorney General feels that we do not have enough evidence to prosecute these people. Meanwhile, those you are telling us went to beat up, in quote, somebody at the RCC are still in court. This Nanka Bruce issue, you are telling me today that Nanka Bruce himself have written to the police CID to discontinue the matter. It's a private thing. So he has the right to either report. A lot of you have been assaulted and don't report. They feel it's private.
But that's when the state is involved.
Of course, the state is involved. But now he said that he's not interested.
Is it him or is it the state? That's the point.
No, they said is investigating, but Nanka Bruce, a person who will be a key person to give the evidence, to give the witness. So if the person is not interested in it, who goes stand in front of the judge and
I think the first argument is that if people don't see the state as prosecuting people who engage in this kind of mob injustice, then it gives people the encouragement to go in the enemy's misbehave.
If had not been this soldiers' misfortune, where unfortunately, and that I don't like, the videos are circulating all over, which to me is not good enough.
Right.
How would they have gotten suspects? The vicinity that they looked at, the people speak to you around Accra, Go to Asylum and go
They're referring to the
who
woman who was
the woman who was
molested.
stripped.
Well, people admitted that it's Kumasi.
People admitted that it's Kumasi. Then those who admitted should give the information to the police, because if they admit it's Kumasi, they know the suspects. So if the police are unable to get them, it's even possible they've gotten some people. Because also remember that a week or so after, we heard all around social media that about 4 people have been picked up for that action, and that they were dealing with them. So in all these matters, if it comes to the attention of the police, with this Kumasi matter that I even talked about this morning, if they said they woke up this yesterday at dawn to find the body there with indications, marks indicating that he'd been linked or whatever happened to him. So the people were not seen. It becomes a matter for the police to investigate. If they are unable to investigate and get to the root, how can they get people to prosecute? And it's not a matter for only Ghana. It's all over the world. A lot of things that happened, big-time terrorist actions and arrests that up to date, people have not been arrested for those actions, because getting the leads to get to the people is very difficult. And it's right. What we need to understand is that if we wrongfully get one soul and jail him or punish him innocently for an offense that he has not committed, there's the saying that it's better to let 1,000 criminals off the street than touching that one innocent. So you simply cannot say if somebody was assaulted or somebody was slain and therefore people should be arrested, when actually you don't know those who did it. So it's a matter for the police, the CID, and not the security of executive.
Mr. Pine, page 14 of your manifesto talks about the fact that when you that Ghana wasn't saved, and the fact that the outgoing president and his administration were unable to deal with security of the country. And that was in your manifesto. Now, 5 months into your administration, you think Ghana is safer?
Of course, but what's happened so much that people think you are not safe? Do you see yourself not safe? It's fair telling
the
me...
IEA just did a survey and said that majority of Ghanaians say they are not safe.
We are very, very
They
scared.
don't feel safe.
A majority of Ghanaians...
They interviewed 1,600 people, of which majority said they are not safe. That's the IEA survey.
You see, I don't want to go the tangent of NDC where they will question the variables used in the survey. But if you take 1,600 out of 26 or 25 million people to reach that conclusion.
But I also know lots of people. You've not done research before.
Oh, please.
I
also know thousands of people who feel the police and the security agencies are protecting them well. You see, you may have infractions. That's why I sent you back some few months what happened in the country. There are infractions at certain points, yes, that we need to do. But the matter is that how are we dealing with it? In all these situations that we've mentioned now, the security agencies are working on that. We don't see the situation where something happened at Agbogbo. You remember when Sefasata told us he was running to his car, but he wasn't fleeing. Who was arrested? It was a mob action. They saw thousands of people. The cameras, your cameras were there. Nobody, not a single soul, was arrested. That time, no action. Nobody was prosecuted.
That was why we voted them out.
Of course. So if you have people who have committed offenses and are in court, you want to tell me that nothing is being done about it. I simply don't. Maybe you want them to be given to the mob to be beaten up to death if that is what's going to satisfy you. But if you want to go by the law, all these people are in the hands of the security. They are investigating them. Some are being investigated. Some are being tried. So why would you say we are not on the tangent of bringing sanity into the system?
Let's jump to the third leg, Fred, except you want to react to this one quickly. Just 1 minute, and then we'll move to the third leg.
I think that the Agbogbo example you cited is neither here nor there. We all know what happened over there. That was the demolition that was taking place.
The key thing is that no one was arrested.
No, that is not true. That is not true. People were arrested in that particular time.
Who was arrested?
And what happened?
What happened?
They were arrested.
And what happened?
Let me provide the answer to you. You don't know. You have forgotten. What happened over there was not anything like NDC, MPP issue. It was a demolition exercise that was taking place, and the people felt that they were taking away their homes from them. and they marched to Parliament House. They were throwing stones. The police went there. They arrested a few people. They took them to the police station. They took their statement. They did their investigation. That issue is still pending. You see, when we call, I'm coming. When we call on the president to act, we are not saying that the president is the IGP. We are not saying that the president is the CID or the investigator doing the work. But he appointed the IGP. The police has a responsibility to update us on issues where they've gotten to. You see, when you update the people know that you are doing some work. It gives us some confidence. But when an issue comes up, you arrest people, it ends there. We don't hear anything. We don't know the extent of the investigation. It just ends there that way. The confidence of the people in the system dwindles down. And that's what we are fighting against. So the point I'm making is that we are not saying there will not be wrongdoing in our country. Of course, I alluded to, there's wrongdoing all over the world. But when you arrest a few people, what do you do to serve as a deterrent? How do you punish them? So that others will see that, yes, something is being done. No, when you do a wishy-washy,
I see you've made your point.
When people are arrested, you simply don't say that because they've been arrested, they should be punished.
Yeah,
there should be investigation. There should be credible
law.
Evidence before the cause to suggest that, yes.
When you have evidence, you say you still don't have evidence.
How would prove that there's evidence?
Wherever the law
is it your evidence or the evidence of the court?
Let's start on the third leg of this conversation now. Angry soldiers want to revenge Captain Mohammed's killing. A meeting at Burma camp. A meeting of soldiers at Burma camp on Monday was dominated by calls for retaliation following the lynching of Captain Maxwell Mahama. Now, the enraged soldiers demonstrated their anger in the presence of the Chief of Defense Staff, Major General Ubedakwa, who had a tough time controlling his men. He said that we are the last resort in this country. If we allow ourselves to be beaten this way as a Christian, and he quotes Matthew 26, verse 52, he who draws the sword must die by the sword. That's one female soldier telling the Chief of Defense Staff. Now, the order the soldiers are asking for is that they want to go back to Denchira and retaliate for the death of their colleague. Fred, let me come to you. It's a silly question, but answer. Should the soldiers retaliate?
We will continue to salute the soldiers. We will continue to plead with them. I think that so far they've exercised a lot of restraint. They've exercised a lot of professionalism, that they are persons we can rely on, persons we can depend on. We all agree that they are the last resort. If you move around our country, you go to the milice barracks, you will see discipline. Openly, you will see it. You don't need anybody to tell you. Because nobody will go to Burma camp and go and take pure water and draw the sachets on the street. Nobody will go to Burma camp and go and misbehave anyhow and go away. There is order and there's discipline over there. All of us would have food that the entire country is like that. Unfortunately, because we are not in a police state, they have a role they're supposed to play in our governance system. I don't think that the appropriate thing that will happen now is for us to say that, okay, go and retaliate. We have resourced you to protect us. We have resourced you so that you can work on our behalf. And they would have expected that Cicely will respect you and accord you that support to be able to do your work. Unfortunately, this is what has happened. Going to attack the people will not be the solution. Just as Captain Mahama was an innocent person who has been killed, I'm sure if you move to the community over there, you end up also attacking some innocent persons who may not have anything to do with this particular issue. So I'll plead with them, they should allow the police to do their work. I think that the community, we need to look at things very well. It's not for nothing that when you go to our various communities, we have the chiefs and the elders, we have assemblymen, we have area committee members and unit committee members. These are the major stakeholders who take decisions on behalf of the community, who make sure that things are done well in the community. These are the persons I'm looking for, that they are all summoned. Because when that thing was going on there, are we saying that the chief was not there because he didn't hear about it? The assemblyman didn't hear about it. In this case, we are told he even instigated the people. You know, what about the area committee member? What about the unit committee member? They shake their responsibility and allow what happened to happen. These are the persons I think that we should pick up and call them to order. We must make people to appreciate assignment that they've been given to. They're supposed to take responsibility for their actions. Because you're an area committee member supervising a particular locality and you are called an honorable because government has appointed you to do that, they expect you to live up to some standard to conduct yourself in a particular way. And so we want to plead with our military people. Like I said, behind them when we talk to several Ghanaians, they also think same. Maybe if I leave the set and you ask me of my candid view, Maybe I'll say something else from this. But I've seen an action of the military like that before in one of the towns in the Volta region. We were very young boys. You know, one town they went to molest one military man, went there for a funeral. And by dawn the following day, oh, beautiful action. You know, and the whole time everybody understood that, yes, you can misbehave, but you don't extend your misbehavior to some category of people in the society. But I don't think it will be very appropriate. So what we need to do to reassure them is for the police to do their work very well. The police should do their work very well. And I think that our security, the BNI, the national security, we need to also help them to up their game. We should be able to pick the intelligence before the events happen. Somebody should have known ahead of this. Looking at the Galamsey situation, some BNI person should have picked some intelligence that something like this is being orchestrated, something is being planned. So they put the necessary measures in place to avert it from happening. But unfortunately, we always should sit back. The thing will happen before we rush in. Look at what happened at Somanya recently again, where as a result of a promise of coming to reduce electricity bill, and they came into office, the bills are going up. So they went to vandalize ECG office. The police moved in. They went to the police station, vandalized the police station, burned their vehicle down. And we couldn't pick the intelligence quickly. The thing started, I think, on Friday evening. It lingered until Monday. Till Monday, we couldn't stop the situation until it got to its peak on Monday. I thought it was unfortunate. And so we'll continue to support the military. We need to assure them that we can rely on them, they can rely on us. Me, I believe in orderliness in society. Because that is the only way societies can move on. The people in America, the people in England and the rest, they are not superhuman beings. It is because they have agreed that they will respect their laws and respect their institutions and allow their institutions to work. Sometimes, all of us will sit here and even blame the police sometimes about the way they go about their work. Me, I'll salute them. I think they're doing a good job. But you and I, who call ourselves probably politicians, we have a role to play in this thing. Anytime there's even an arrest in this country, Sampai or myself will pick a mobile phone if I know any policeman over there. Oh, boss, it's my person, oh, it's my brother. Nananum will always do it. They will send a delegation to the police station, go and talk to the investigator, go and talk to the CID. So we nail them. We tie their hands to their back. We don't allow them to use the law and use it to its fullness. If all of us will stop those things and allow them to do their work, I'm sure they will get the confidence. More
orderly society.
Orderly society. Where we are moving to, it is scary. It is scary. If this thing continues, we are not looking at it. It was in this village a few weeks ago. You don't know what will happen next somewhere else. And this thing continues to get to a point where even the president cannot govern the country. The security cannot do anything. Okay. The population, we are more than the security service. We overwhelm them. And so we need to quickly rise up, fight this and nail it to the bad once and for all.
I'm grateful, Fred. Mr. Pine, so the army and retaliation, you won't advise them to it.
You see, Fred knows all this, and he wants to put the blame on somebody's footsteps. When politicians and the clergy and other people pick a phone and tell the police, please don't. And when the people are incapacitated, you want to put the blame on some president. But he was also talking about Somenya. He was talking about
Somenya. Same in December.
He was talking about Somenya. You see, and he says that a promise of some people to reduce electricity. Is that the situation? Somenya?
No, that was
it's about
I think he's reading his own meanings
billing system that brought about all these.
Oh,
right. And that,
but he thinks that it is because of that.
Don't mind.
That is his own thinking.
That's the tangent that we go and we misinform the public about it.
So didn't follow the
the public.
I'll brief you when you
finish. Fred, I don't want to say he's lying, but he's misinforming them. But to this business of the soldiers, I've been, for the past 2-3 days, I've been speaking on that, and I've told the world that they've conducted themselves well. I know them very much. I know what they are able to do, especially when they lose a colleague. And it's not only Ghana. You see, I always talk about this movie, The Lone Survivor. It's a true story about what happened in Afghanistan. And when the U.S. Marines entered that village to rescue the last man who was alive, how they meted justice to the people there, you wouldn't believe it. It's the same thing that happens. And even in the movie, it's kind of minimize. But when you listen to the
real
narrative of the soldiers who were part of the team, you wouldn't believe it. But yes, it's painful. Emotionally, they will be charged to tell the world that yes, we need to also retaliate the death. But I want them to advise a little. The police are in charge. I believe that the military also says they want the military police to be part of the team. So far, people have been arrested on suspicion. We are fortunate, even though unfortunate, to have videos circulating and that pointing out to people who were part of that act. So once they've seen those guys, let us leave it at that level. Let the law deal with them. And once the laws are dealing with them, I believe at the end of this we're going to have justice for the late captain. And because I wouldn't want them to go there.
Okay.
The people themselves
should not.
The letter that they saw. You see, they said it was some guys that said, "Yeah, one my exercise kakra." One guy said, "Any exercise, one drill and kakra." So the drill that they went there, enough. And some guys were saying they received some little slaps and all that. I believe.
Oh, that's friendly.
That's friendly fire.
But Johnny Hughes has just joined us with some of the comments or with the conversation. Johnny, good morning once again.
You have lived in the barracks before, and soldiers say friendly fire, so it's not necessarily friendly. But it says, indeed, this attitude of lynching must stop. I can't deny it that TV3 is my best, but I have to remind you that you have a short video in which a driver is running for his life while some people chasing him to lynch him. This will send a wrong signal to people from afar countries that our attitude is always to lynch people when they offend. Please change that video. Nana Addo must take DC's position from him. He has been suspended. Yeah, why not sacked? I foresee that our punishment for law offenders are very weak. The punishment must be strong for Abdul Karim in Sunyani. You have shown one of the most powerful songs in this world. Big ups to TV3 are all doing a great job from Osei in Kumasi. And good morning, TV3. You are the best in the media field since I'm always late at work. Oh, Masa, don't have to be late because I can't go to work without watching New Day segment, which feeds me with more information around the globe. TV3, you did the best. Nicholas Kome in Cape Coast and Seth Akokobin Kumasi says, why do people take the law into their own hands? Is that we don't trust GH police and the court also. Someone sold my brother's caterpillar to scrap dealers and we got him to Asokwa police station. Do you know what happened? Because of then commander speaks same language, because he and the commander speaks the same language, he did the case Basa. Just think of this. So if my brother gets an armed robber, what happens? Police, do your work well. Bright, you see on it again, can't ask Fred questions because be fair small from Emmanuel. It says you are patronizing Fred on the show. Please, Bright, stop your bias. Ask Fred questions too. What happens in their time from Emmanuel? Emmanuel, I don't think we should go back to ask what happened in somebody's time. We have a national crisis and we want to solve it. Well, Brian, kindly bring NDC manifesto and ask Fred questions and please read my text. Please be fair from Emmanuel. Emmanuel, well, you voted out the NDC, so the MPP must do what you ask them to do. Good morning. The MPP man in your studio is a hypocrite. Oh, you think so? Good morning. I think our police service is exhibiting some high level of incompetence nowadays. The IGP should not sleep on his job. Delta Force is a clear example. Billy Graham, Legon. And Bright, you claim that the culprits are left off the hook by the law. That is why the soldiers were telling their high command to allow them to act instead of police asking for evidence. Okay, wait till it gets to you. Kojo and Amrahe. Good morning, TV3. Politicians never cease to amuse me. We can all attest to the fact that the DC didn't speak well. The first gentleman of the land, which is the president, has asked the man in question to step aside. Then comes the opposition to say he should have been fired outright if he had been well, they would have said that the president was too harsh. Let's see Ghana first. Let's build a better Ghana. Vincent Chikpo from Mamprobi. And we thank the president for asking the DC to step aside. But one way to properly show his condolence to the bereaved family and Ghanaians at large is to fire the DCE. Okay, so you say it's not enough. Michael Amini, the UK, says, thanks to former President Mahama for knowing better that this is purely a criminal matter, and so we shouldn't politicize it. But this advice should have been told to Asiedun Ketia, Kwaku Anyidahu, and other NDC apparatchiks to desist from their unguarded political rhetorics in this matter. The suspended DC should rather keep quiet and step aside as directed by the president and allow investigations to be completed. And if it's proving that his earlier misguided comment hasn't obstructed investigations, then President Akufo-Addo may choose to give him back his work. DC suspended, very necessary. He should have even contacted the PRO before making such a comment. Also, they should allow the military police to take over the investigation. Good morning, Ghana and Ghana motherland. We promised to hold in high esteem a heritage one for us. Okay, indeed, Captain Mahama is a hero, and respect to also, yes, you say, Azuma Kusi Paul. Good morning, TV3. My name is #1 from unknown location. My message to your viewers, I'm asking that if they say Obuasi people should stop Galamsey, then are they going to be killing people? Osman in Tamale says, the sudden death of Captain Mahama has really pierced the heart of Ghanaians. A man who promised to protect and fight for his people is killed by his own people. We're sorry, Captain Mahama. Rest in peace. DC is sacking. There is time for everything. Comment in every situation. When the tensions are high, you don't go about fueling your comments. And an unfortunate comment from an unfortunate DC is a failure and never born to be a leader. Evans. Aziz Donlaiwa says the country is no longer secure, and I'm thinking of leaving to Burkina Faso. You think so? Good morning, TV3. I think the police service should be a contributing factor for the death of the Captain Mahama, because when we catch criminals and send them to the police station, the police officers just take money and release the perpetrators to come back to harm the public. But to be fair, the killing of Captain Mahama was planned by some unscrupulous people from Emmanuel in Adonikrom, Enchi, Awen district in the Western region. That's what he's saying. Everybody, almost everybody seems to be pointing to the fact that the police is not perhaps doing enough in that direction. Is that the same indication you get, Mr. Sampai?
Well, the police is on the job, and so we'll wait and see.
Well, I think that the police is doing very well. To be honest with you, if you look at the circumstance and environment in which they work, in terms of logistics and everything, we cannot blame them. Of course, a human institution, sometimes they get it wrong, but I think on the whole, they are doing well. We need to support them to do the work. We, the citizenry, the state must provide for them. You go to a police station, sometimes they don't have a vehicle to move. Until recently, that by the grace of President Mahama, tried to give them a lot of vehicles. In the past, we all know the environment in which they work. There were no vehicles, communication gadgets were not available to them. Sometimes the vehicles are there full to even move the vehicles. A problem. People are not ready to volunteer information to them. It's very difficult. But we can improve upon their services if all of us also stay away. Politicians stay away, chiefs stay away, the clergy stay away. Let them do their work professionally. I'm sure we'll get a better security service.
Right. Last message.
Stop calling the police.
Somebody, Mackay, is asking if standing is part of my job description. I don't know what answer to give Mackay, but standing is good. Standing is certainly good.
Thank you very much. There's a lot of exercise. Mr. Pai, wrap up for me.
Yeah, you see, Fred will never cease to amaze me. Some moments ago, he was so telling us that the police were not doing their job well. Now he's also acknowledging the fact that they have challenges that.
No, but correct me. I never said that.
In all of this,
Fred, you are here, so that's okay.
In all of this, it's important to note that getting a safer community to stay is not a single person's initiative. When you go to other jurisdictions, we have the responsibility by all. People will identify, see things, and they'll quickly notify the police about it. Here, people will look at it and shy away. Instead of being given a helping hand, they will stand there, take their mobile phones and start filming what's going on. So if, as a nation, we don't help us with the system to make it better for us, there wouldn't be a need. But I believe that, yes, we need not politicize it, and that the admonition from the former President Mahama should be a clear signal to his General Secretary and deputies and Fred Agoyos and the rest not to go on that tangent, because it's not going to be the benefit of anybody.
I'm grateful for your time this morning.
Right.
It's
not my turn.
Oh, I'm wrapping up. I have.
It's my turn.
Oh, no.
Let me just comment President John Dramani Mahama. He visited the family yesterday, and he has assured them that he wants to take
Have you commended the president and the vice president for doing same?
The care of the children, and I think that is good. I'm also calling on the police, military high command, and the nation as a whole, that we need to do something to motivate the other military men.
Right.
That when you
know the comments, some people were posting, we're posting on social media. When he said the president was going to, the former president was going to take care, oh, of course, you've stolen lots of money, so you can use some to take care of them. Have you forgotten
whatever that it is? You can say whatever you want to say about him. The good thing is that he cares about people. He wants to help the family.
Okay.
So you can
I am grateful. Fred Agbenyo is the Deputy Communications Director of the NDC, and Mr. Sampai is the Ashanti Regional Secretary of the NPP. Gentlemen, grateful for Friday morning. We hope to see you some other time.
Right.
Thank you so much for coming. Fred, did I say Fred? Nana Fred is ready. He has all
but Sampai, his appointment has not come. I have already bribed you. Sampai's appointment.
Fred is so worried about Sampai's appointment.
Yes.
It will come.
My brother
is once again.
Yes.